Hello YouTube. If you've had an email account for any length of time, you're probably familiar with the clutter that happens after a while. Friends and family send you stuff, you sign up with a few services that send you a ton of things, spam starts coming out of nowhere, and before you know it, you have over 100 emails to go through. Today I'm going to show you how to use some of Gmail's tools to make your life a little easier. Let's start with the little checkbox up here. Normally you go through emails one by one, and that can take a long time. But if you see a whole chunk of emails that need to be deleted right away, you can click this checkbox, and that will select all of the emails in the current view. Now, if it says something like 1 to 50 of 200, then it's only going to select the first 50, and after you either press the delete key or archive or whatever you choose to do with it, and make all those 50 emails go away, you're going to still have 150 emails to deal with. So things to keep in mind. If you click the box again, it unchecks them all. And if we click this little arrow next to the box, we see a drop-down menu where we can choose either to select all of the emails in the view, none of the emails in the view. We can click red to select only the ones that have been read, like this one right here. Select none to get rid of that. We can check the unread, so all the emails that have not been read will be selected. And then there's starred and unstarred. Now if you go into each email and click star next to it, that will highlight it in a certain fashion. So if you click on starred, you'll only choose the starred emails. And then conversely, if you choose the unstarred emails, it'll select all the emails that have no stars by them. So that's one way to organize your email. Now another thing that's important to do is to use the report spam function. Say you're getting hit from a certain email address frequently, like 10 times a day, and it's really cluttering up your email inbox. What you can do is you can click on messages from that sender and then go to this report spam button, click on that, and that not only removes the email from your inbox, but it also sends it to this place called the spam label. I'll touch on labels a little bit here, but if you go down here and you click on spam, you can see all the messages that are in your spam folder. And Gmail has a special algorithm that learns over time, so the more that you click on the report spam button from certain emails, it will start to learn to look for that certain email address, and any further emails will just be routed immediately to the spam folder instead of going into your inbox. Now, sometimes it's not perfect and it will route something that shouldn't be put in the spam folder into spam folder or spam label, whatever it is. And to get it out of there, you click on it and then say not spam, and that'll put it back in the inbox. Now you see here it says that spam messages that are in the spam label for 30 days or more will be automatically deleted. So it's important to check here frequently in case something important got into it. Otherwise, you can just delete it as you wish. You can even delete things forever so they don't go to the trash, they just come out of your spam folder and you never see them again. Alright, so now let's talk about labels. Labels are quite useful. You can go into the settings in here and click on labels, and these are all the different labels that you have available to you. There's the inbox, which you're familiar with. There's starred, so you can see only the emails that are starred. Important. There's also a little designation kind of like starred called important. Chats, sent mail, drafts, all mail, and so on and so forth. Labels are a little like folders in other email programs where you take an email and you can sort it into another grouping however you choose, and that can help you organize your email a little better. So say you get email from one person all the time and you want to have a label just for them and something that doesn't take up space in your inbox. That's one way to use the labels. So to set up a new label, we need to go down here, create a new label. We'll just give it a name. How about my label, just to start? Don't worry about all this other stuff, that's more advanced. Click Create. And here's the new label. These are the labels that we have created. These ones above are all of Gmail's default ones. You can either hide them or show them, but you can't really ever get rid of them. So if we go back to the inbox, we can look through our email and choose maybe these ones. And then to send them to the label, all we have to do is click on this Move To button up here. Click on My Label, and it moves those messages to the My Label label. So if we come over here, Gmail expands the box. We click the My Label option over here, and there's our email. Now you'll also notice that if you click on the email, it says up here, My Label. That is effectively what a label is, a little box that helps Gmail know where to store the email. If you click this X, it removes the label, and then you don't see it in that area anymore. So where does it go? It goes into this special place called All Mail. If you click on that, you can see absolutely everything in your email. Anything that you've archived, anything that's in the inbox, anything that's just in your labels, everything. So that's kind of the more cluttered view that you're used to. But if an email goes missing, go look in the All Mail. Once again, it's down here under All Mail. If we go back to Inbox, as you can see, it shrinks it only to the things that are in the inbox. Another thing you can do is click on something, click Archive. Where does it go to? Guess where? It's going to be down here in All Mail. So that's an example of how you can use some labels. Now here's a more advanced trick. We're going to set up a filter. Filters are rules that Gmail uses to automatically put emails in a certain place, or to somehow label an email as soon as it gets into your inbox, so you can do whatever you want to it, or just make things a little more visible. It'll make more sense as we go. If we click on this little settings button over here and go to settings, we can create filters under this little filters tab. Click on that. So far we have nothing, so we're going to create one. So there's all kinds of things you can use to make a filter, whether it's from an email address, or if it's being sent to somewhere, or if the subject has certain words in the title, and on and on. Let's start with just putting in an email address. Okay, so if we click on this little test search box, we can see what matches those search terms in our email. Looks like we have 3 emails so far. So if we like that, we can click down here. If we wanted to make changes, we could just change it right here, or we could add more to it. And then we'd click the test search again, and that would show us more details. But we're just going to create a filter from this search. Now here's what we can do with that. We can skip the inbox, which could be useful if it's like, say, something that you've signed up for but you don't want to be bothered by it every time it comes into your email. It's especially handy if you have a smartphone that will alert you every time you get an email. You can tell it to skip certain senders so you don't get buzzed every 30 seconds. You can mark it as read, so once again can make it a little easier to see. Star it, so like, say, if I always want to have this sender starred because they're important, I can have Gmail automatically start for me when it gets to my inbox, or I can apply a label to it. So say we do that, we click on my label because we made that up earlier, and then it will just move, well, it won't really move anything. It will still keep the inbox label, but it will also have the my label attached to it. We'll see how that works in a sec. If you click forward it, then you can have messages from the sender automatically forwarded to another email. Useful if you're giving out dummy emails to everyone, but you want a certain someone to always get to your inbox because you're trying to make contact with that person or whatever reason you may have. Delete it. I'd say that's pretty straightforward. Never send it to spam. That's kind of useful if you don't think that this person's ever going to spam you. Always mark it as important, just like star it, just labels it a certain way. Never mark it as important. Well, it's the reverse of always mark as important. And categorize it. Well, we didn't go into categories earlier, so that's another tutorial for another day. And if we apply it to the 3 matching conversations, those ones down here, and create filter, it will apply those filter rules. So these are all the filters we've made up. If we click back on the inbox, we will see that not only do we still have these emails from FFR Wing in our inbox, they also have this my label attached to them. So that's the benefit of putting my label onto items that you're filtering. Now, if we ever get another email from FFR Wing, Gmail will automatically attach the my label to those messages. It can make it easy to archive, and it can make it easy to figure out what's important and what isn't. So play around with labels. You'll find them very, very useful. And I think that's all for now. Have a good one, everyone.